think so.
That's good. We got to practice. Here we go.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to Eugene and Dylan's Guitar. Yeah, thank you so much. I just wrote that on the way here.
Just like the record.
Eugene and Dylan's Guitar Show. This is Eugene Edwards over here. That's Dr. Dylan Caligiuri right over there.
All right.
And tell you what, we're doing a little bit of a dive on The One I Love by R.E.M. Now, this is a choice of yours, and we're going to talk about it. So what is this? This is here. I have a piece of paper here. Are you done?
Oh, I'm done. I just want to check to make sure there's... we're good to go.
Open with the intro riff played for... Oh, wait, no.
Okay.
Sorry. Welcome, people. I did that.
Yeah.
Okay, The One I Love is a song by American alternative rock band R.E.M.
Yes.
It was released on the band's 5th full-length studio album,
Document,
recorded in Nashville.
Wow.
And it was the first time they worked with the producer Scott Litt. Now, if you're big R.E.M. fans, you probably know that those first 4 albums... Well, they were kind of life-changing for a lot of people. They certainly helped define indie rock in the 80s, and that's a whole other thing. But working with Scott Litt sonically, this is like their first big boy album, in my opinion.
This is a big boy.
Like, they sound like a big rock band all of a sudden.
Yep.
Like, kind of the folk indie charm.
It's the Butch Vig of Nirvana.
In a way.
Something,
now, so, and Scott Litt kind of just brought a big sound. The band was ready to move to a big sound.
Yeah.
And... But don't forget, this is essentially a trio, this band, right? Because Michael Stipe doesn't play an instrument. Right. So this song, which was actually a big hit, and it was a big one for you, right? You said...
Honestly, I don't... When did the album come out? What year?
I didn't write that down. Was it 1987? No, 88. 87, 88.
I remember getting this album when I was 7, 8 years old. And so it must have only been a few years out by then, because I was born in 83. So it was a huge album. And I mean the whole... Because it has Into the World As You Know It.
Yeah.
It has a ton of great songs on it. Murmur was a big album for me too, and that's actually the album before this.
That's the very first one.
Right.
Any hoozles, when you listen to these are guys who've been playing. The band has been playing as a trio for a good amount of time, and you can kind of tell in the parts. Can I see the chat?
Michael sounds
Can you move
good.
That? Michael's singing his butt
Michael's singing. You know what? He's really singing.
And of course, Mike Mills has that killer harmony part, that secondary line. We got a hello from Windy, Ontario, New York. We got Houston. We got Long Island.
Wow.
We have Connecticut. We have Southwest Colorado.
You kind of said that like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, that's how
Long Island.
The first time I went to Long Island, I was corrected. It's Long Island.
Long Island.
Long Island.
Well, I don't.
And you don't say goodbye. You say be well.
I think you got punked.
I don't.
Yeah.
An entire island coming together to conspire to play a joke
yes,
on
I think that's
unknown.
what happened. Yes.
Occam's razor does not get me there. We're drifting. Georgetown, Ontario, Canada. Savannah,
and I got
Georgia.
the bass for you, Eric.
Yeah,
bass 30.
Greg in Nebraska, Palm Coast, Florida. I love this. So anyway, this song. It starts with this riff. Now, by the way, this is a study. Essentially, this is E minor pentatonic.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
I can't think of an exception except for the very, very end of the song, which we'll go into. How many people in the chat know how to play this song, by the way? I'd like to know that. But, it's cool because Peter Buck, the guitar player, he's pretty much playing the entire thing in just this open position, which is pretty typical of trio guitar players, especially in rock, right? You kind of end up staying down here and making the most of it. So this lick is great because it covers from the low E string to the high E string. If you think about it, it really kind of covers the whole range. Reverb. So it's really getting this big chime. He's arpeggiating. He's not strumming anything full on. Do you mind?
Sorry about
I'm
that.
doing
Sorry
a
about
show
that, folks.
over here.
This is the behind the scenes.
Actually, thank you for getting that light, buddy.
Makes a big difference.
So that's it. It's a real simple lick. Oh, sorry. It's so simple.
I can't do it.
And he just plays again. Well, not yet. This is the intro.
Oh, sorry.
He gets excited.
Yeah.
Now, here's
This
what's-
one
okay,
this one goes out to the one I love.
so E minor to D, but not just any D chord. It's a D sus2. The high E string is open, and he's got this very particular picking pattern. So there's some discipline here. He's using the same picking pattern, changing chords with the left hand, and again, having this kind of open voicing. And then E minor 7 for one.
And you know, a lot of the times when you listen to their older albums, the discipline wasn't there necessarily on picking the same strings for each verse. Like it didn't have that sort of gridded type of approach, which you could say good, bad, and different. I mean,
Sure.
but it's something that was indicative of pop music in the 80s.
It's one of those things. It's a little move that makes it
Yeah.
a little more of a big boy record,
Exactly.
right? Now, here's a really cool thing. So this one goes out to the one I love. This one goes
Yeah.
out to the one I left
Yep.
behind. Now he's going to strum a full chord for the first time, essentially. So the impact of this first G major chord.
It's pretty huge.
Boom,
It hurts
right?
you bad.
So it's G, then D, then A minor, then C. But being a trio, the guitar player with his pinky on the 3rd fret high E to open high E, he creates this secondary melody. While Michael's singing. So
It's like
that
what a harmony would be, you know?
and then Mike Mills is doing crazy stuff on the bass because when you're a trio, everybody's got to spread
Yeah,
out.
you gotta fill up space.
It's like it's like the cops are here.
yeah.
Spread out.
Spread out.
See, that's
Put it out. Your mom's here.
So Mike's walking around. He's playing like a C while I think he plays a C note while Peter Buck plays this A minor 7.
Oh, sorry. Start from the beginning of that section. 2.
Oh, he played G. Yeah, see. So the bass is playing alternative notes under the bass. Was really, really smart stuff. So there's all this movement and energy going on.
There's
and
a
it
lot
goes-
of guitars, though. I mean, there's
Well,
double-tracked guitars, for
so
sure.
there's his Rickenbacker is double track. He
Yeah.
plays it twice through.
'Cause this is a big
Again,
guitar sound.
Back to the discipline.
Yeah.
He plays it again twice, exactly the same way
Yeah.
to get that spread. And
Yeah.
it seems to be like it's a Rickenbacker. Either going into an AC30 that's cranked or a Mesa Boogie. Those are the two amps that he had on this session. But no effects pedals or anything. It's just a tube amp being pushed really hard with lots of treble. You want to see the? Wait,
You put them on your camera.
can you show us the lick in slow motion? Here we go.
I don't know which one is yours. It's one of these. Let's see. No, that's me.
All right, so here's the opening lick. Starts with an open E, then 3rd fret E, open A, open D. Sorry. Then open high E string back to open open D. He sneaks that in there. Then there's a slide.
Sneaky, cheeky.
So. So that's a slide from 3rd fret B to 5th fret, and then the open high E string, open B.
Huh.
Then he basically just goes to an E minor chord. Then the pinky plays the B string on the 3rd fret to make an E minor 7 for a moment. I hope that was slow enough. Sorry, but that's just kind of, we only have so much time. Ivan Blevin says the guitar solo in this song was the first one I ever learned. That's massive,
Ivan,
right?
That's pretty wild.
Can you imagine
this? A lot of my firsts are on this album too. By the way,
you too?
No, I don't know about the first, but they're earlies.
Ivan, you have a bond with this song that is just never going to change. Basically,
Sorry.
I told you about yelling that.
You still have the camera
The
on
crowd.
you, though.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This little tiny you.
Is that where you're
So
yelling fire?
They missed the
You
whole
could just
thing.
say- Wait a minute. For Athens, right out of our friend Elizabeth Nelson,
Yeah.
her band, the Paranoid Style, they just played the 40 Watt Club in Athens, which is where these guys These guys came
like
out
a nice
of.
club.
It's still there, still rocking, right? So the guitar. Let's talk about the guitar. So okay, so we do another verse, which is identical to the first verse. Same lyrics, same everything. Michael Stipe doesn't even bother writing new lyrics for verse 2.
40-watt club in where?
In Athens, Georgia.
Oh, okay.
So why?
I know. I was just trying to put it all together.
Oh, okay. So, so it's great. So they just repeat everything. It's like a cut and paste, but they don't actually cut and paste. So that's an unusual move.
You know what? I don't even notice.
Did you? And who notices?
I didn't even notice.
We don't notice. This one goes out to the one I love.
To the one I love. In fact, you know what? I don't want to hear anything else.
It's so good. Why change the thing? Then when they repeat the chorus, of course, that's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Now the guitar solo, which plays over that G major, D, A minor, C, E minor thing. So the solo.
From the second verse on. Let's give them all the
so here's verse 2.
Yeah.
This one goes out to the one I left behind. A simple prop to occupy my time. This one goes out to the one I love. Here's the solo.
Like the record.
All first position stuff in E minor pentatonic. This one is a beauty. So sliding second fret to fourth fret on the G. I use my ring finger or my middle finger for that.
Courageous.
Then third finger with the index, third fret with the index finger on the B string. And then fifth fret B string with the ring finger. So. I tend to double that with the open E string and the fifth fret B, although I may have just done that over the years on my own. And then
it's a simple solo.
Quarter bend on the third fret low E.
It's what should be there. You shouldn't stick anything else
It's
there.
what should be there. Think about it. It's its own melody, by the way. You can sing this solo.
It's an obligato melody.
Well, he has to play one, so you're right.
Obligato.
Scaramouche.
Can you do the fandango?
I can, but first I want to talk about the solo a little more. So study your E minor pentatonic. Study your E minor pentatonic scale, and it's all there. And again, we like those solos that create a new melody in a song. And you can whistle this one. Do, 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 do. It's hooky, man. It's really, really cool. And also it's interesting because it starts high and then it ends low, which is rare for solos. So there's some kind of like rebellion here. There's some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? They don't do the obvious. They zag a lot. Speaking of which, one more verse. This time, the words are different. 2 of them are different. This one goes out to the one. This goes out to the one I love. This one goes out to the one I left. Everything's the same. Different words here. Wait. What's the word? It's not a simple. Another. Wait. It's a different prop.
A different prop.
Has occupied my time.
Has occupied my time.
That's all he changes. That's it. That's it.
I think if you're gonna write something to the one you love, it's like a boardroom. Concise. It should be. If you can't get it down to a couple sentences, you didn't think about it.
It's like pitching it to grandma.
Yeah.
Can she explain? So it's obviously this song's about using people. It has very, very few lyrics, and the few lyrics there are, he just repeats them over and over again.
What's the fire thing about though?
He's just yelling fire.
He's just yelling fire. Yeah.
Michael Stipe didn't use a whole lot of logic when he wrote.
Until Automatic for the People, and then things started to get really. By the way, Automatic for the People, you guys.
Masterpiece.
Just want to throw that out there. Obligato with an O, and it's a term from opera, just like many things are. Leitmotif, Lite. Obligato is an obligato line. It's a line that's it's not even a counterpoint line. It's its own separate line that's operating in
I thought you were saying thank you in Portuguese the whole time.
No, that's leave now.
Yeah, right. John Waby's right. Cake, the band Cake.
Yeah.
Their philosophy: if you've got a good line, might as well repeat it.
I mean, that's like,
Yeah.
But this double track thing.
Oh, go into this, please.
Think about this, you guys.
The floor is yours.
So your favorite guitar albums, many of them are just like the number of guitars by the end of the 80s. So Back in Black, for example. Do you know how many guitars there are playing that riff? It's like somewhere between 400 and 5,000.
So Back in Black essentially comes out in what, 79 or 80?
Yeah, it's actually before this.
But that's kind of starts a lot because the producer's Mutt Lange.
Yep.
Who would then
Ride the vocals.
Who would then go on to produce all the Def Leppard stuff and all the Shania Twain stuff in the 90s. So the blueprint for how big rock guitar music is going to be made and transferred to the pop world pretty much starts with Back in Black and the fact that Mutt Lange is a producer. We talk about producers a lot on these deep dives.
Because they're the one made the song sound like that.
Sometimes it really, I mean, Rick Rubin notwithstanding, for the most part, the producer's really, really important to the music that's being made.
I mean quintessential, by the way. I mean, it wouldn't have been the same. There are exceptions, though. But my other point is the Black Album by Metallica has... and you guys can check me on this. I mean, dozens and dozens and baritone guitars and doubles of the like
just
that's why it
things.
sounds like that. So if you're thinking about something you're recording at home, try doubling some guitars. It'll make you disciplined.
Can we? Okay, well, Sean, I would. By the way, Sean has written a song, and if anybody hasn't heard it, go to the Fender Facebook community.
Wow.
Check out Sean Brisbane wrote a song and went to a friend's house and tracked it.
You tracked it, Sean?
No. Oh my God. No, it's a full track.
Oh.
And Sean's singing, and I couldn't be more proud of this guy.
What kind of vibe are we talking here?
It's like a mellow mid-tempo rock thing.
Wow, Sean.
But with movement and changes, and it's everybody. I'm just here to
I think Sean lives in Georgia too.
He does.
You,
he does.
Yeah.
Eugene, are you still on Country 20? No. Okay. No. This is the Mustang, and I'm in British 60s pop mode. I turned the gain down a little bit because essentially the British 60s pop
like the one
setting,
that comes on the amp, by the way.
It's essentially a Vox AC30 copy. And so I know that he's probably playing a Rickenbacker into a Vox AC30, so that's what I'm going with here. But by the way, but we want to talk about that layering of guitars. Peter Buck said he knew he wanted to start layering guitars, but he didn't want to overdo it just yet.
Yeah.
At this point in their career.
So there's a couple in there.
It's there, but not at the Metallica level.
Yeah.
But if you're making home recordings, here's a little pro studio tip. If there's just a guitar part, a piano part, whatever it is, and you'd like it to be a little fuller, what we tend to do is I should probably just turn it up in the mix.
You can, but
then you're going to create also a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Once you do that, you affect everything. Try doubling that part, either on the same instrument or just use a different instrument. So if you've got a guitar line, like a little melody line going on in the chorus, something like that. Let's say that's your line, and you'd like it to be a little more prominent, but not necessarily louder. Play that same line on a recorder, or on the piano, and
get your recorder out from the Cold War days.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know, from second grade music class, you still got the recorder. What I'm saying is, you just double that part with either the same instrument or another instrument, and it thickens it, but you haven't made your mix louder. So now the vocal can still be the focus of whatever needs to be the focus, but you can really beef up your track basically by doubling.
Let's do a mention on that.
Let's do.
Make those second guitar and third guitar left and right. And
here's another one.
Make your guitar.
So now this is is this a little more the
left, right, center.
The Van Halen innovation?
Yeah, I mean it's the stereo,
the way
big wide
stereo
sound.
spread,
and go all the way left and right, and then turn them way down, because then you really will get out of the way.
That's
of your vocals.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting because your vocal is going to be in the center of the picture.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Use the stereo field, folks. It's there for you.
This guy Mark DeSisto,
it's a made up name.
Well, because I don't.
Yeah. You see how he got caught?
Okay,
you see how he got caught right now? Okay.
Let's just call him Mark DeSisto.
Okay, for now.
Okay. And he's an engineer, and he works with us with Dwight, right? Yeah. And he was a house engineer at when it was A&M for all those years. So lots of legendary sessions.
Yeah.
He says, you know what? If you're gonna do like an effect or something like that, just go hard with it.
Yeah.
Listen to what David Bowie would do with a delay. It would just it's coming,
it
man.
would punch you in the face.
But he said something like, "Don't forget that there should be an element of fun in your mix."
Yeah, I don't
which
want
I think is really
a
really
perfect mix. I want an interesting mix. And then also, like this extends to the kids. For all of those kids that aren't watching right now,
get the kids in the room. Everyone,
bring them back in. Bring them in.
Get them
So
back in.
listen to Justin Bieber's "Sorry," or listen to new music. There's like 5 things in it.
You know,
okay?
That's very true. Those Billie Irish, those massive Billie Irish.
There's like 5 things.
A lot of.
There's maybe a lot of vocals, but I mean, there's like 5 instruments, if that, but they're really, really clean and well done, and they're perfectly timed.
My favorite Post Malone stuff does that.
Yeah, so
it's like I can identify everything, and as opposed to like, you know, there was a time, like, just a little over a decade ago, where things were just
the 90s,
so
the whole
hard.
thing, an Oasis song,
for instance.
There's like didgeridoos.
I kind of think that's where bricking, that and some of the Red Hot Chili. That's when bricking really started.
We're good. Never mind. I can't even see that. What does it say?
It's 5:52. We're good.
Okay, fine.
Should I buy more guitars for this?
You should always buy more guitars.
You
Everybody
know what?
knows that.
Hold on.
Rory,
So
come on.
so R.E.M's the one I love. Might be a great post Beatles advertisement.
Hollow Body
for Rickenbacker.
Yeah, any kind of, but like any small.
I should have borrowed my buddy's Rickenbacker, the one I had here a couple months ago for this. I wasn't.
I think a Rickenbacker's technically a hollow body. Actually, I think it's technically
semi.
Semi hollow body.
But it really is. It's those toaster pickups, which is essentially a humbucker. It kind of, if you had to classify them, but very microphonic and very chimey. Obviously,
make a little bit of distortion sound like a lot.
But I'll tell you what, it's really about a bridge pickup here, and the amp being set for
loud, very
loud and really no bass, and you just get this big chimey thing. And anyway, so that's kind of what's going on with this thing. And you're welcome for zooming in, Greg Stimple. But the kids are watching, and they're not really Bieber fans.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of somebody. Olivia Rodrigo. Is that right? Did I say that right?
Especially the new album.
Newton-John, by the way. I actually almost said that.
Olivia Newton-Rodrigo.
Her songs are simple too, but no. Okay, Olivia Rodrigo, that driver's license song. Hey, by the way, if you guys haven't heard that song, and your excuse is that you're over 35,
so well written,
you missed out.
Yeah,
you need to go listen to it.
There's good writers.
There are actually good songs. We love you, Rick Beato, but there are good songs on the radio.
Well, he will look. 1 out of 10, I was like, okay, this is good. This is good.
In fact, I think he'll give the credit.
He actually did like the Rodrigo tune. Come to think
of it. Did he really? Yeah.
He says
I think he'll give it where
because he was like, well, that's an identifiable.
Well,
riff.
he'll do some rap where I'm like, hey, I'm tapping out, Rick. Okay, I'm tapping out.
Well, it's like a different beast. After the drums, bass, and 12-string acoustic, this is Sean talking about his track.
Yeah,
we added clean and distorted tele parts.
There you go.
Then keys. So wow, so 12-string acoustic.
So you went
clean and distorted tele parts. Layering guitars, you know. Anyway, so I think some of you, if you're in the Fender Facebook community, the track we're talking about. Check it out because it's really.
I got to hear that.
It's so much.
Can we make a comment about this? So
we should. We're here.
One of the things about you guys, if you wanted to go in and make a track, right? What's the tendency when you're learning an instrument? It's like I got to learn a lot of repertoire, and sure you do. But if you do less and get more done, I'm telling students this at college all the time. Like, do less and you will get more done. Work on phrasing a vocal line on your guitar, and you won't have to spend so much time learning something. Like, figure out what you can do, and making the whole point of that, making a recording and layering all this stuff in. You'll find your failings. You will face the Kraken.
The microscope of the studio.
You will face the Kraken.
The learning curve is pretty sharp.
The Hellraiser box will open.
Can we talk about the ending of this song before the Hellraiser box opens again? That comes up once a year, and I still keep coming back here.
I know.
So at the very end, one more verse.
Once a year.
It does. One more chorus, and then the fire with the riff thing. It repeats that a few times. Then it ends with this really nice dramatic chromatic move.
Sure.
So back here. So we got the. So this last time. Rubato. And he ends with an E minor chord, and it seems to me he does not play the high E string. Like, I don't hear the... Which he's been droning that note over and over again in this track.
That sounded impromptu to me at the studio.
It just kind of ends...
It sounds like that was like a rehearsal cut, and they ended up using it.
Also... Notice the tempo pretty much just dropped. And is that rubato? Is that proper rubato?
And I don't think anybody's doing anything to a click
No,
on this
Bill
album.
Berry was a very disciplined. He just had great timing as a drummer.
You can tell there's no grid.
And as a band, because the energy of the
feel
tune.
a grid.
If we put it on a grid and clocked it, we probably see some tempo fluctuation.
Yeah. Music used to do that.
Well, at the end they have to. Oh, sorry. But it has that nice dramatic, like they pull the reins on the horses at the end there and do this chromatic.
It's a live ending.
A power chord D at the 5th fret. I'm just playing the A, D, and G strings, by the way. Moves the whole thing up a fret. And then, instead of hitting the E power chord at 7th fret, he drops from here. And that's it, folks.
It's a great song. It's also like if you're within the first 5 years of playing guitar, unless you are 7 and you have an endless amount of free time. And anyways, it's a great song to learn as a beginner because you can learn the whole damn song. So that's, you notice how when you're beginning, you're a beginning
that's
student,
a great point.
You're like, can I learn a song all the way through? And it's like many of them no.
There's always that one tricky part.
Yeah. But
I remember those when I was a kid too.
It's like Back in
them.
Black, and you're da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You're like, I can't. But so this one you could learn all the way through, actually. So consider that.
It's a lot of fun.
And occupy my time. Because consider this.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Now, a real quick thing. I did a covers gig this weekend, right?
Did you get arrested?
No.
Okay.
No.
Would you tell us if you did?
Oh, that's a good question.
See what I mean? That's what I mean.
I'm gonna have my lawyer answer that one.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
How are your taxes?
Yeah.
I'm just changing subject random.
I just want to
total distraction.
For those of you that are watching, the chocolate basket is coming. Yeah, IRS. The yearly basket of edible chocolates.
Little tickle to the G-man. All right. So anyway, it was a lot of fun because we had people. We had some people sitting in.
Yeah.
And then this one young lady came up, and we didn't know her, but she said, but she's been singing at some of these country bars in town. Well, then we probably know some stuff. Now she's younger, and so she's naming songs, numerous songs.
And you're going,
that one might
Truck,
be.
yeah.
But she says, how about the Judds? How about Why Not Me?
That's a great song.
Oh, it's a great song.
Killer song.
Yeah, and I'm excited. Yeah, in D, like the record, she starts singing a little bit, off mic, and she's in D. Like, perfect. So I start this song. And the band's looking at me. No, she's awesome.
Okay.
The band's looking at me to lead them through because they don't. Well, they're just kind of like following me, right?
Yeah.
We get halfway through the first verse and I realize, I don't really know the changes to this song. I felt terrible.
I used to play with
now,
people
to her credit, either she doesn't pay attention to bands,
or they don't pay attention to her.
Hold on. Either she doesn't pay attention to what's going on behind her in bands as a rule.
Hey.
And on this night, this benefits her.
You just push through.
Just sang.
You just fire through.
She was going through. She sang the proper scale, like verse, chorus, double the bridge. She knew what she was not going to waver on this thing, and thank goodness she did, because she pretty much told us where to go for the rest of the tune. That was a little embarrassing.
Good on her. What was her name? Well, you can't say her name. Lady in Red. Let's go with that.
Anyway, I do intend on having her come and sit in with my band at Club TG at some point, because I want to Club TG. It's in Atwater Village.
Oh,
any hoozles. But then this one lady comes up who I think she has experience in the dueling piano world.
Yeah.
So she comes at the piano. She goes, I'm not used to playing with a band, so we'll just see how this goes.
That could go terribly.
She hits a G flat chord.
Yeah.
And just lays into a pitch perfect "I Want to Dance with Somebody" by Whitney Houston.
With somebody.
And
did you guys know it? That's the original key, by the way.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And she just goes. And fortunately, our bass player, he knew that song well.
It's all bass, bro.
It's all bass, of course. And I'm just kind of just. Sorry,
you're going. Tick, tick. Yeah, you can get through that song. Well,
I'm just beaming.
Chorus,
beaming like a kid on Christmas, because wow, when someone comes up and does that, like a song like that, you don't forget. So anyway, that was a little magical little gig story. Hey, look, it's a minute past. We've got people waiting for us in the workshop, y'all. So I hope you enjoyed this deep dive. Just keep grooving, baby. Just play under this. We're gonna go out with this. If you haven't signed up for the workshop, the link is in the bio. If you don't mind, we're gonna be working on just a little scale work, the blues scale, how to use it, some songs that have it. We have PDFs over there and tabs and stuff, so that's what we're gonna be doing. But until then, I'm Eugene. That's Dylan. We'll see you next Wednesday with a deep dive on something else. Go listen to Sean's song. Ready?